What's going on, everybody? It's Nick Payne with Facemask Fantasy, and now that the NFL draft has come and gone, we'll take a look at the landing spots for the rookies, what their potential outcome is with their new team, and how their arrival impacts the team's incumbents. If there's any one player you want us to profile, let us know in the comments, and we'll be sure to cover him. Up today, Chicago Bears running back Roschon Johnson. The Bears made Johnson the 115th pick of the 2023 draft and the 8th running back off the board. Johnson joins a backfield that also includes Khalil Herbert and Donta Foreman, who signed with the team in free agency. Gone is David Montgomery, who signed with the division rival Lions. Montgomery leaves behind 241 combined carries and targets from a season ago, so lots of work to go around in an offense that also includes Justin Fields, an elite rushing quarterback. Johnson is an interesting case study because he's primarily known as the guy who was the backup to Bijan Robinson at Texas. So he never really had a chance in the spotlight. But that could change now given his landing spot. Charting the Bears' rushing opportunities feels a little murky now given Fields' ability as a runner and how effective Herbert and Foreman both were last year on a per-touch basis. Herbert averaged 5.7 yards per carry, and Foreman nearly rushed for 1,000 yards despite starting the season off as a backup on a bad Panthers team. On paper, Johnson has his work cut out for him as far as carving out an immediate role. So who is Roschon Johnson, and what's the likelihood he does exactly that and makes a fantasy impact as a rookie? As previously stated, Johnson spent his 4-year career at Texas, initially arriving in Austin as a dual-threat quarterback. He made the switch to running back almost immediately as a freshman, chipping in 123 carries for 649 yards and 7 touchdowns in 13 games played. He also had 23 catches for 158 yards and a receiving score. Pretty good for a guy who wasn't supposed to even be a full-time running back. But that's exactly what happened going into his sophomore year, which was when Bijan arrived in Austin. Both Robinson and Johnson saw a similar amount of opportunities, but Bijan made it clear who the superior prospect was, averaging over 8 yards per carry. Still, Roschon got 80 carries of his own in the COVID-shortened 2020 season, turning them into 418 yards and 6 touchdowns. He also had 8 catches for 51 yards and a receiving score, all in 10 games played. For what it's worth, he did supplant Keontae Ingram as the primary backup that year. Johnson continued to back up Robinson for the next 2 years. In 2021, Johnson had 96 carries for 569 yards and 5 touchdowns, also catching 11 balls for 83 yards in 12 games played. In 2022, Bijan's workload increased, but Johnson still got 93 carries for 554 yards and 5 touchdowns. He caught 14 passes for 128 yards and a receiving score, also in 12 games played. All told, Johnson accumulated 392 rushing attempts and 56 catches in his collegiate career. He averaged 5.6 yards per carry and scored 26 total touchdowns. The glass half full is that Johnson has minimal usage compared to other running back prospects. Obviously, the drawback is that the sample size is a smaller one to work with when determining Johnson's dynasty and redraft value. He stands at 6 feet tall, weighing around 220 pounds, so he certainly fits the mold of a player that could handle a significant workload. He's not far off from Donta Foreman, who maybe has about 10 to 15 pounds on Johnson. To that end, Johnson has the size and physicality to handle early down duties, and in my mind did enough in limited opportunities as a receiver to get chances on third down as well. He's not a burner per se, so it remains to be seen if he has the extra gear needed to create big plays and flip the field for the offense. But he should be able to provide some tough runs that keep the chains moving and the offense on the field. He'll likely compete with Foreman for opportunities given their skill sets are very similar. And the Bears did give Foreman a $3 million contract in free agency, so that's a noteworthy investment. Khalil Herbert is likely to get first crack at third down opportunities, and he should continue to get 100-plus carries over the course of the season, something he has done in his first 2 years in the league. And of course, there's Fields, who ran 160 times in 2022. That number is more likely to go up than down. So again, this backfield could be reliant on the hot hand approach in 2023. Ultimately, Johnson has a good chance to break into this rotation because of his versatile skill set. I'm not holding my breath that he takes this backfield over outright, though, at least not as a rookie. But if he shows enough this year, you figure the Bears won't bring Foreman back ahead of 2024. So that makes Johnson an enticing add in your dynasty rookie drafts. If you're an RB needy team, I am perfectly fine with Johnson going in the middle of the second round of rookie drafts. I wouldn't take him over guys like Kendre Miller or Devon Achane, but I'm fine opting for him over guys like Tajay Spears and Tank Bigsby. If Johnson is available in the back half of the second round, there's a pretty strong value for a 22-year-old running back with fresh legs attached to a backfield that is trending up going into 2023. We'll, of course, continue to monitor Roschon Johnson's development, but what do you guys think? Put any thoughts you have in the comment section below, and we can have a conversation about this. Till then, this is Nick with Facemask Fantasy. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening.